Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be another episode of Nosh's Quest to Gold. I am Nosh. I'm spawning down here at what I'll call the 6 o'clock position on the Metalopolis map of StarCraft 2. Here on the 9 o'clock position is my zerg, almost had turn, zerg opponent, which is RVC. Now, just before actually looking at this map, matchup even, as it was quite a recent one, I was able to check up to see the rank of my good friend RVC, who is now ranked 16th silver. Now, I couldn't tell you if he was that high ranked when I played him back then. I did occasionally get ranked against silver opponents, even high-ranking silver opponents, and once a gold opponent when I was still, blathering on the Bronze League. At the time of this replay, I'm in top 8, I think, bronze, but I haven't been promoted yet. Now this will be, depending on how you're counting it, the 14th cast match, or the 15th if you count the double that will be posted before this game that I've not uploaded to YouTube yet, if you count the double as 2 games. Now in this game I'm going to show you that I am actually learning from some of my mistakes, compared to the last PvZ against Shenanigans that should already be uploaded. Now, you're going to see RVC, he's dropping his spawning pool as well. At the same time, he did pop this little drone down here. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe he was going to go Nexus first. Not Nexus first, Hatchery first. Maybe he was going to go Hatchery first, but upon seeing my drone come up into his base, he's decided it was a lot safer to get his spawning pool down. He's also managed to get his Overlord across the game. He's got it into my base. You can see what's going on now. He's going to sneak it on back over here. Now, I've set my little duty, my little drone probe. My goodness, I keep confusing zerg words and Protoss words. I'm good at this game. And I've set him to his patrol route. He's just going to jump back and forward here, bumping into these little green spots, which is a shame for him. But this is just so that I can keep my eye and see if there is any zerglings coming down to chase him away, or a probe coming down to try and drop a hatchery or anything. Meanwhile, back home, I'm just starting up my normal startup, especially against the zerg. This guy's going to come and block the little bit of a choke I have left here. I'm chrono boosting out some drones, some probes. Don't worry, first cast today. It'll all clear up by the next cast. Chrono boosting out my probes. Nearly said it again. And as you can see, RVC's going for a roach warren. Now, because there is no fast expand, my natural assumption should be roaches. That is what I've learned from the games I've played so far. Now, a scouting Ling is coming up to see how my frontal wall's doing. He has parked his Overlord. Oh, he's taken all the way back to his base, so he sees that he can't get up in here, and that Zealot's going to just give him a wee chop if he tries to. And he's brought his Overlord back to hang out at his own base. I'm not sure whether that's just to make sure nothing naughty and air comes across, or whether he just felt like it. So back here, we can see RVC is droning up, but he does have his roach warren, he does have his gas, and he has got that mining. He's actually starting to bring out his first handful of roaches. I've also, with my little probe still back here, I can still tell that he's not trying to expand. Also, because of the rally point of these, he has quite a nice set of vision of anything coming around the corner to see if there's any pushes coming, to make sure he can spend maybe some of his additional larvae on anything. Meanwhile, down here, nothing very exciting. A little zerg poked back in just to see if he could catch anything at the top of the ramp, but pathing not too great, and he ends up as a bloody pile of zergling over here. Little, I don't know, horns? Feelers? Whatever these in the front of the zergling are here. If he stops for a second, we can maybe have a look at these. That's what they were. It's little claws, it's little talons. Now, my probe was shooed away by this set of roaches as they came down. And definitely now that I've seen roaches, I've gone straight for my robotics to make sure that comes up. And a sentry as well is being gatewayed in, as I've not quite got warp gate out yet, to make sure that if there is any roach pushes up my ramp, that I can get a force field down and hold it off. RVC playing quite well. He's getting his metabolic boost out. He's got his hatchery coming on through. And I'm placing a pylon, maybe a little too late, but enough in time to see this roach push coming along. Again, he's still a little bit hugging this wall, a little bit too much, and I'm getting a few shots off. Fair enough, I've taken some of the roaches down a bit of health, and that is going to come into effect. Every, point of health lost in this game is going to have, some form of impact there or another. I know that zerg units will heal back up, but, that's time spent. Anyway, I've got my Immortal coming out. I've got him chrono boosted as well, so that I can get him to the front, get some defense on. I'm also getting another sentry for more force fields, because I don't have that much energy on the first one. And a little push is coming right now. Force field blocks off half of them, but nothing exciting is happening. I put another force field down. That's probably a bit of an overreaction, but thankfully now I'm getting another couple of stalkers in. Now these roaches down here do have vision of the high ground, but I'm just chasing them away with these zealots, tank some of the damage, and then come back up here to block the gap in case they try and rush me with the speedlings, which, as you can see, 5 speedlings coming out, metabolic boost almost finished, and I do have my immortal out guarding this quite badly bloodstained ramp. Now, I don't have vision over here anymore. I don't have any vision up here at all, so I don't know that this expansion's been coming. I can't tell whether or not this is going to be some kind of all-in push, or whether I should expect more attacks to be coming at me. Now you can see RVC, he is getting his melee attack and he is still producing roaches, so he's not droning up super hard in his expansion. As you can see, he's only got a few drones down here. And he's going for a spore crawler as well. He could be, you know, used to some DT harass this time of the day. Now I'm getting a forge up at the moment. I do now have my second immortal out, which is going to help quite well with these roaches, although there does only appear to be 2 in front of my base. The rest appears to be speedlings, and with this force I have at the top of the ramp, that's more than enough to deal with what's outside my ramp. Lair coming on through for RVC as well. I'm going to warp in another couple of sentries just to make sure that if I do feel any speedling harass, I can get up a couple of force fields, although I did lose, yeah, it does look like I have lost at least 1 sentry in the engagement when the roaches were attacking from the bottom here. Whether it was focus fired or not, I don't know, I must have missed that. Now nothing coming out of my robotics anymore. I do have the money, but not the supply. There you go, I've gone and got myself supply capped. So I'm opting for a stalker instead. Immortals are quite high in the supply. It's 4, I think. Yep, 4 for immortals, 2 for stalkers, 2 for zealots, and 1 for your little probes. Now, as you can see, RVC has decided not to commit to this attack, meaning I'm actually going to take the army lead at this point in the game. He has actually, however, gone and focused on getting a couple more roaches up here, but as you can see, his next warp-in, yep, there you go, his next warp-in is going to be 8 drones. You might have also noticed he is getting his Hydra list down. That's just coming on over here, and I'm missing the entire engagement going on down here. As I'm sure you would have guessed, though, with a couple of Guardian Shields, 2 Immortals, and a big bunch of Stalkers. Get these ones as well. Get these ones as well. What are they doing? Mopping up the grass? There you go. See, now I've got them. Anyway, now that I've won that engagement, I know that it's safe. I am planting a Nexus, but I'm a bit ashamed to say I've not put a pylon down anywhere to like warp in on the lower ground. Meanwhile, back here, Panic Station's coming for RVC. I've just taken out his force. He can probably tell that a push is coming. He does have this Salnaga. He will be able to see it with this roach. So he's getting a whole bunch of speedlings and his first Hydralisk out. He does have an okay force. If he can get a surround on the Stalkers that are coming his way, then he should be in a better position. Looking at supplies, neither of us are supply capped, and he's opting for more and more and more speedlings, whereas at the moment, to be honest, if he had the money for it, and he certainly does have the gas, I think Roach Hydra would probably be much stronger comp. Now, Hydras aren't that strong in terms of the damage they can take, of course, but they are quite a high damage dealing unit, so if he could keep them at the back, you know, speedlings at the front, Hydras at the back, maybe some Roaches as well, he'd maybe stand a stronger chance, but he is opting for a couple more Roaches. He's actually getting his attack level 2 out as well, and his armor, and his roach speed as well, so, but it does seem a little too late. I do have a little wall here to stop anything else from running around. I could have maybe done that a little bit better. I am actually going to lose a bunch of Stalkers here, but thankfully with my Immortals kind of at the back, which doesn't really make sense because they should kind of be up the front tanking the damage, just purely based on army size, I'm going to be able to push through this force. Now I'm force fielding the ramp. Now this is to stop any more reinforcements coming down, of course. I am running in some reinforcements here myself, and the roaches do have the ability to sort of shoot down the ramp, but yeah, apparently I'm not that bothered. That one force field was enough to hold off everything. Apparently, nope, second force field comes up, which is a shame. Those lings aren't going to be able to get down, and they don't have the range like the roaches did. I managed to take out the hatchery, which is a nice win scenario for me. But you might have noticed back up over here, there is the third down for RVC as well, while all this was going on. Now his upgrades are coming on through around the same time that I'm starting a warp prism. Now, I'm not sure you'll see that come into play. You might not, who knows? But with another Immortal out on the field and a bunch more Stalkers coming in, it doesn't look too good for my Zerg opponent. A couple of spines are starting up in his base. He also has a bunch more Hydras coming out, and if he can get them to the top of the ramp and maybe shoot some down here, he might actually, you know, get some good DPS off. Now, I don't know. I'm actually going to back that up. I don't know where I got the idea to check this base, because as you can see at the moment, vision-wise, I don't know this is here. So I just decided to, you know, I must be on a whim. I've decided that I actually want to come up here and see if there's a base. I actually even haven't got my units selected, so I must be, there you go, I must be in the mood for some other form of attack. Now I've spotted on my mini-map that there is a base up here. Of course, I've decided that, yeah, this is time to take that out. A couple of force fields, but not enough to block the whole ramp, but enough to kind of delay any forces coming round. I managed to get rid of the third and a couple of other things. I'm chasing down and killing the rest of his forces, and at this point, even with this many Hydras, RBC is going to realise that I just have too big an army, and now there's not a lot I can do about it. My second is up and mining quite strongly, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the well played and the leave of the game from RVC. Now, as you can see, this is not quite a black and white transition from the game against Shenanigans, but I am learning a little bit. I didn't see the expand come down. I saw roughly the timing of it when the roaches came out, but I decided when I saw roaches, get a robo up and get your immortals out. I managed to hold off the attack. I'm not saying I would have been able to hold it off had it been an all-in, but thankfully my opponent decided to expand and I managed to capitalize on that. I hope you enjoyed this game. There's going to be a couple more posted along with it. Any comments or questions, feel free to drop me a comment or a question. I'd be happy to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Peace.